Good afternoon and welcome back to another ironic introduction to another video. Today I'll be doing a March review and an April forecast. As always, if you'd like, there is a link to the forum in the description below, as well as a link to my Excel sheet when I discuss the rewards in the description below, but I'll talk through that and kind of explain what's going on with that Excel sheet. As always, as well, if you'd like to skip the read aloud, there'll be a timestamp in the description for that. So as far as like March review, I think it can be pretty quick. The rewards were amazing. Definitely some of the best rewards we've seen to date. It even competes with the rewards we're seeing in April. It's nice to see Kabam really reward players with like a higher like scaling of rewards as the contest pushes deeper and deeper into like more extensive rosters and variety. I think that it's about time we see a shift in rewards to kind of match the content of the game. Plus it's exciting to have that boost. But additionally, I really liked having like a side event that was free. It was 0 energy. That was awesome. Overall, I think the event was really, really solid. I think March did a very, very good job of just kind of being a solid event. Overall, plus marks from me. I think my only complaint is with the Mole Man expeditions. I think that it did start to get to me. They were quite repetitive, very accessible, which I love to praise. I think that a lot of people forget that when you're going in there with rank 5s, it's just tedious. But for a lot of like the freshly uncollected players, because it's not a lot of noted fights, it's just a lot of fights in general, but it's 0 energy and the fights are not noted, which makes it very accessible to people with only 4 stars in their roster maybe to get and collect these rewards just by investing more time. So that is like a really, really nice thing to have. And I wouldn't have minded the increased tedium and length of the event overall if Kabam hadn't made it so we had to fight Mole Man 52 times, excluding the ambushes. It just felt unnecessary. What I would have liked to see in kind of this style of event is have 4 different bosses, right? And then have the ambush still be Mole Man. That way we're still fighting Mole Man a whole bunch of times, but we don't have to fight him additionally 52 times over the course of the 4 weeks. It's still tedious, but at least then there's like kind of a semblance of difference between the quests to kind of make it more interesting, as well as maintain that accessibility and increase rewards. And I understand, you have increased rewards, so sometimes that means increased time spent, and I'm okay with that. That was perfectly fine. So that just kind of minor tweak I think would have made a huge difference in the way the questing played out. That said, April's forecast, we have Pledge Your Allegiance summoners, 2 mysterious strangers, each serving a different goal, have arrived in the battle realm. It's up to you to choose who you will side with. The champions of the contest have already begun to find their choices. Champions loyal to Iron Man, Hulk, and Civil Warrior are fighting alongside the Sorcerer Supreme. Meanwhile, many who follow Thor, Black Panther, and Spider-Gwen find their allegiance in line with Storm, Pyramid X. This event starts on April 1st and lasts until April 29th. When this event starts, you will be asked to make your choice. Join Sorcerer Supreme and the followers of the Ancient One, or join Storm, Pyramid X, and the worshippers of Apocalypse. You'll then gain access to a set of quests and solo objectives chosen for your team. This month-long event consists of 4 quests, with 1 quest released each week. Depending on which side you choose, your quests and rewards will differ. Siding with Sorcerer Supreme will reward you with rank-up materials, while joining Storm will reward you with crystal shards. Know your enemies, Summoner. Your rewards will depend on your skill in battle. Double Cross. On April 15th, the first 2 quests for each side will permanently lock. This is your chance to turn your back on your team and pledge allegiance to the opposing team to gather the resources promised by the other team. Of course, you can choose to remain loyal and earn even more of the resources you've already earned if you wish. There is no bonus for remaining loyal to the same side. Faction-specific solo objectives. Prove your might to your new brother and sisters in arms by completing solo objectives for your faction. If you choose to change factions on April 15th, your objectives will change as well. And here are the rewards, which we'll discuss in a Excel sheet format. But just to kind of give you an idea, these are the rewards for 2 weeks worth of doing the event. So you can claim 1 of each or 2 of the same one and kind of double up on your rewards in that matter. And then finally, Los Mercs for gold. There are rumors that deep within this world there is one known for his strength, power, beauty. Find and release him later this month, and he may reward you. I don't know what that means. I think this means if we sell a specific champion, this is going to be kind of like an unknown thing. We're going to get rewards for it. And it's Los Mercs for gold, which makes me really think it's Deadpool, but hopefully we get more information on that. Other people in the community kind of like do the legwork on that, because I'm not quite sure what that means, but it's definitely something that needs to be noted. So that said, I've got this kind of different approach on an Excel sheet, and the reason it's different, and I'm sorry if it doesn't appear well on your YouTube screen, I'll zoom in here at least for the beginning, but I have in yellow the March rewards, not including the bugged additional rewards we saw, just kind of for a fair comparison. And then I have the April rewards just in white underneath. And then I have in green and red kind of like the change in reward value. And this is all under the assumption you choose one of each faction. Because of course it doubles up, right, if you pick one specific, but then you lose out on the other. So that's something that needs to be accounted for. So my best way to kind of calculate and assess these rewards is to base it based on choosing one of each, right? That's a division kind of matching a similar month-to-month reward structure. And I think you might be a little surprised by the way it chalks out. So from 6-star shards, we're not actually seeing any increase, right? So you're still getting the 1,000, and we see that here. I just have to do a quick check here because there's no other access to 6-star shards. And in 5-star shards, 16,000, which is actually 2,000 less than we got this month. But do bear in mind, you could get double that. So it could potentially be, 3,200 5-star shards, which is really, really nice. So that's important to know. And this is still more than the typical amount of 5-star shards we see in a monthly side event. So this is back-to-back months where we saw a significant increase in 5-star shards. So that's notable, but it is also worth noting that this is less 5-star shards than March's month. 4 stars, we saw 850 increase. For 3 stars, we saw 11,000 decrease. That's not a big deal. Premium hero crystals, there's 5 now. There were none last month. And then we see 6 stars across the 6 stones across the board. This kind of explains the less 5-star crystal shards value, because we're seeing 25-star SIGs, 40 of the rest of the SIGs, and 44 3-star SIGs, which is just weird because there's like an additional 4 in the rank up materials. I don't know if that's a typo or something, but it's there and worth noting. As far as Tier 5 Basic, we see no change. Tier 4 Basic, you do have an additional 2.35. Tier 3 Basic, and it's really worth noting that you see less Tier 4 Basic just raw, and you see additional Tier 4 Basic in the form of rank up gems. So overall, it comes to 2.35 increase, but you're not like getting the full selectivity of that. It's specifically in the form of a rank up gem. So, depending on where your roster is at, this might seem like less Tier 4 Basics for you, but like if your roster is less developed, it's, it does add up to more in the long run that way. As far as Tier 3 Basics, we see 24. Tier 2 Basics, we see an additional 1. This is just the additional increase, by the way. Tier 1 Basic, we see an additional 6 because there were none last month. Tier 4 Class Catalyst is notable. We see 4.1 less this month, which kind of just leaves me scratching my head. I don't know if it was a typo or something, but there's only 2 in the rewards for the rank up team, which is, notably significantly less than we saw last month. Tier 3 Class Catalyst, we can see an additional 1.4. It is worth mentioning that the 6 Tier 3 Class Catalysts we do see are in the form of a rank up gem. So again, you're not quite getting, the natural version of those either. Tier 2 Class Catalysts, we see an additional 12. Tier 1 Class Catalyst, we see an additional 19. Tier 2 Alpha, we see the same amount. And Tier 1 Alpha, we see 22 additional Tier 1 Alpha, either in the form of rank up gems or just the natural 12 that are in the event. So that one, I don't have shaded, but I'll shade now, is a huge, huge change. So the reason I did this in spreadsheet form is because, you kind of need to see the spreadsheet to decide how you want to divvy up your rewards. Because I know a lot of people are pretty much going to be asking me, and they're going to be asking others, which side are you choosing? And personally, I'm leaning towards the shards. And the reason I'm leaning towards the shards is for the 6 stones. But the more and more I look at the way this spreadsheet is laid out, I can't help but think, I think I'm going to choose one of each. That might really be the best way to capitalize on it. Because personally, in rank up materials, this 12 set of Tier 1 Alpha could really, really help me. But I don't really need an additional 24, 24 is a lot of Tier 1 Alpha in a month. And I just don't need that many more. But an additional 12 would really help. I can't find myself walking away from that, as well as the 2 tier 2 alpha. 4 tier 2 alpha would be amazing to collect on, but then, I lose the crystal pulls, and I'm really fishing for like Aeon and Omega Red. So the more and more I look at this, the more I think I'm gonna, do both. I think when I go around the first time, I'm gonna go for shards. That way I can open up my crystal, see what I get, and then kind of decide from there. And I think I would recommend anybody who's contemplating doing both to essentially just pick on your situation. If you're looking for champions and that's going to determine your rank ups, do shards first. But if you already are holding champions you need to rank up, pick rank up first and then decide 2 weeks in. That's the best way to handle, because isolated, it does look like a lot of better rewards. But when you divvy it down and you base it on the assumption of picking one of each, we do see decreases in specific areas which it feels weird, and we see increases across the board, and then we just see static results in specific areas. So chew on it for yourself, decide whether or not you think it's better. I am going to vote in the forecast that April looks sweet. It looks amazing. I think this is really cool. I like the addition of like rank up gems, because that's like one of the reasons for so many green numbers here on the rank up materials, is because the rank up gems are just providing raw value, but like higher roster developed people won't need that as much, and they'll end up just taking the shards anyways for the 6 stones and stuff. I love seeing these 6 stones, because like if you double up on shards, you will be getting 40 5-star 6 stones, which is a perfectly solid amount of 5-star 6 stones. And honestly, that's the reason why I'm thinking about doubling up on shards, not so much for the crystal pulls, but specifically for the 40 5-star 6 stones, which is kind of a rarity. So that's the rewards in Excel sheet. I've said my piece, and I'll let you all chew on it. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.